Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this video, very quick video on Schedule 1. I'm going to show you how you can edit your products within the game. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. Not only can you edit the product names and other things in the game, you can completely change your game if you wanted to. Now, this can ruin your game, so please be aware that if you mess this up or you do this wrong, you can break your game. Also, not only can you break your game in the context of the code, you can break your game in the context that you can ruin all of the fun. Often, if you edit game files, it's not how the game is intended to be played, and if you tweak too many things or change too many things, you can remove that whole enjoyment that you would get from the game. So please do this responsibly. With that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to head over away from the game, and we're going to look at our computer. Okay, we're going to go to the file manager or file explorer, and at the top, we're going to type in %, app data %. That is what we need to type in. And when we do that, it's going to bring us to a folder that's going to have our name for our computer. And we're going to be in a folder called app data. Now, if you can't see this, you'll need to go to sort. You'll need to go for, to view, to show, and hidden items, right? You'll need to do that first. But assuming you've already done that and you can see this, you'll then go to local low TVGS, which is Tyler Video Game Studios. Within there, you're going to see a folder called Schedule 1. So we're in our user, app data, local low, TVGS, Schedule 1. From within here, we're going to go to saves. We're not going to mess about with anything else. We're going to get a string of numbers we're going to open, and we're going to see our save games. Now, for this instance, these are our 5 files. If I go ahead and I just delete save game 1, I've deleted it. Save game 1 has now disappeared. If I go ahead and I duplicate save game 5 and I was to paste it, and now if I was to go ahead and rename this as save game 1, save game 1 and save game 5 will now be the same. They're identical. Now, if I go back to the game just to show you this how it works, because I've got the game open, it's not going to count. If I go to continue, you're going to see test, edit, and YouTube. They're different. But if I was to quit the game and just reload it quickly. Okay, so now I've just reloaded the game. If I go to continue, you'll now see they're the same. They're identical. Now, before I load into the game, I'm just going to come back to here and we're going to go into save game 1. That way, what I've done, I've taken a backup. So if you ever want to take a backup of your game that you can edit later, this is a very easy way to be able to do that. If you're going to be creating content or things like that, you might not want to go through the whole game in the process. You can have a backup of the game that you can edit. So let's go into save game 1. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the game.json file. Now, when we open this, it's going to open it in a notepad. And I'm going to call this something different. For the purpose of this, I'm going to call this renamed, and that way we know it's different. If I save this and I go back to the game, again, I have to stress when I do this, go back to the game and click on continue, it's not going to be the same. I'm going to have to first quit and come back. So let's do that now. Okay, so now we just relog back into the game. If I go to continue, it's now called renamed. So this is now different. All right, let's go back to where we just was. We're going to close down this game.json and we're going to look at something else. And yes, if you wanted to, you can change how much money you've got. So you can change your online balance. If I wanted to here, maybe I just want to add a couple more zeros. If I wanted to here, just want to add a couple more zeros. I can do that if I needed to or if I wanted to. How much I've deposited and my lifetime earnings, which again, I'm going to add a couple more zeros to. Go ahead and save that, and I've just tweaked my money. Again, you don't want to do this. That is an abuse of the game. So I'm showing you how to do it, but I'm telling you not to do it. Don't abuse the game. Also, there's other things here. We can edit our rank if we want to. So if we want to change our rank, maybe we want to go from tier 4 and instead be a tier 5 within 5. We want to change our XP or anything like that. We can, again, break the game or do things like that. But if we want to change things like this, we can. If you want to test out different ranks, you can do that. Again, I don't recommend it. I'm just showing you. What we are going to look at, what I am interested in, and by the way, we can change anything in here. We're going to look at products. So if we go within our products, we can look at 2 files. There's product.json. So if we go into here, we have a product that we've created and it's called Cage Cush. Let's say we want to rename this. Well, the way that we would do this, there's two things we would need to do. The first thing that we would need to do, and you don't have to rename this, but this is just the proper way to do it, is we're going to do Control and F, and we're going to go and do a find and replace. So wherever this is Cage Cush, we're going to call it renamed drug. Okay? Renamed drug. So that's going to be renamed drug. Okay? We're going to replace all. So wherever that was, all 6 instances have now been renamed. We're going to go ahead and save this file, but we're not done yet. What we then need to do once we've saved the file is minimize this, and we have to go into created products folder and find that name. So we're going to look down for the one that was created because it creates a new product every time it's found. Okay, and we're looking for Caged Cush because that's what it was called. It's here. And we're going to rename this. We're going to rename it to what it should be. And now we're going to go into it. Now it's renamed. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. Control and F. Find and replace. And we're going to replace all. 2 instances. What you'll also notice here is you can change the properties of this. Even down to what is required. If I go back to the products, I can look at what is required for this to be completed. What does it need? So if we were to look at renamed, for example, it tells you what the mixer is. It tells you what's needed. We can change this. We can tweak it. We can edit it. We can make the game a lot easier. I'm not saying we should, but we can. We can even create names for some of the original things, but I wouldn't break this or mess about with it. We're only really looking for the product names. Now, you don't even have to change products.json. All you need to do is come to whatever the rename drug file is. If you didn't rename products, and if you didn't rename the core file, you just need to change this name. Not even the ID or anything like that. If you only edit this name and nothing else, it will update. But it's not done properly. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and let's load up the game. And we'll show you what happens as a result. So, just loading into the game right now, into that first save file. And we're going to have a look. Now, remember that was called Cage Cush before. And we've changed it. So we're going to have a look. We're in the barn at the moment. First of all, let's have a look at how much money we've got. Look, we've got over $1 million in money here. So we've edited this to have over $1 million in the bank. So that first edit worked. So we did that. And the next thing we're going to do is look at this product name. And this product name that we had before, this Cage Cush, is still here. It's still called Cage Cush at the moment. And that is because we haven't reset the game. So what we need to do is, it's renamed here, look, as renamed drug. So this is correct. But what it hasn't done is it hasn't renamed anything that we've already created. So if we were to go ahead and we were to make this again, we can do this, we can mix it up, and we can make the new drug. And that will be correct. But anything that exists originally is still going to have the old name. So just bear that in mind. But that is a way that we can change the product name to be something different. So what was originally Cage Cush is now renamed drug. And also, if we wanted to, if I go back to the file, let's say that I didn't want to have foggy as a property. I can simply just remove it from here and delete it. Save that file. And if I come back to the game, we would have to go out and come back in. So at the moment, renamed drug has foggy. Okay, if I exit this, it's still there. If I come out of the game and quit the game, if I go back into the game now, because when I continue the game, it loads everything. Look at my net worth now, 11.5 million. Again, cheesing the game. I don't recommend it. I'm just showing you what's possible. So now we've renamed, we've removed one of the options that was in there. It's not there anymore. So as a result of not now having foggy, if we go into products, you can see if we look at this, foggy is no longer an effect. So that effect will no longer apply. So we can actually tweak and change the effects of what we're doing. You just need to bear in mind though that when we do this, it can change things. We've got to be very careful with what we're doing and how we're doing it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it can break the games. Please do be careful if you're going to do that, but be aware that that is something that you can do if you want to tweak and play around with things. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all we're going to do today. So I would only recommend going into the products and changing the name and nothing else. I wouldn't mess about with any other file. I'm just simply showing you how you can if you want to tweak the game. So bearing in mind that as you're progressing through and playing the game and enjoying the game, if you want to make some tweaks to the game, that's how you can do it. There's some really cool things that you can find in the folders when you're looking around. An example of this, if we go back to the save game, you can look at NPCs and you can see all the different names. You can even change the names of the NPCs if you want to. Call them names of friends and people you know. You can kind of customize this game to a point. But remember, when the game updates, some of this stuff may break the game and it may change things. You can change other things, like you can change the names of businesses if you want to, give them different names. You can even change the names of the different shops. Or if you really wanted to, you can look at the quests and see all of the different quest items and even change this if you want to. Lots of things in descriptions and things that you can play with and tweak in the game if you want to. Not saying you should, just showing you how it's possible. All right, thanks for watching. That's it. Go and enjoy the game. Try not to edit too much. But again, if you want to change the products, that was the whole purpose of this. Go into products. Make sure you go into the created product, find the product you're after, and simply just change the name of it and nothing else. If you do that, it will work. Just the name, not the ID. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.